The sky above Outpost 9 was dark. No stars, no sound, just silence. Captain Ryler stood at the edge of the landing ramp, staring into the black fog below. He had led over 30 missions across the galaxy, but something about this one felt wrong. The voice in his earpiece spoke again. "Orders are clear, Captain. Find the alien. Erase him. He's alone. Should be easy." Ryler nodded. "Roger that," he said, even though his gut twisted. The planet was named DX-187, a forgotten rock far outside the main star routes. It wasn't even on most maps. No one lived there. No one visited. Until now. Last week, Earth scanners had picked up a strange signal, something ancient. It was coming from DX-187. The message was short and simple. "I have arrived. Do not follow me." But Earth Command didn't like warnings, especially not from aliens. They sent Captain Ryler and Team 6, Earth's elite strike force. 13 of the best soldiers, all fully armed, trained to kill anything that moved. Their mission: land on DX-187, find the alien, kill him, recover anything useful. Simple. Or so they thought. The ramp lowered slowly. The red light inside the ship flickered as the thick fog rolled in. It touched Ryler's boots and crawled up his legs like cold fingers. Private Kells stepped forward. "Sir, I don't like this. The air feels heavy." Ryler looked at his scanner. "Breathable. No toxins. Stay sharp." The team moved out, boots crunching on dry soil, guns ready, eyes scanning. They walked through broken rocks and strange black sand. The land stretched flat in every direction, empty and dead. Then something strange happened. Private Luma pointed to the ground. "Captain, do you see that?" Ryler turned. The sand behind them was gone. The footprints they had just made were vanishing, as if the ground was swallowing them. "Keep moving," Ryler ordered, but he tapped his helmet twice. "Record everything." After 20 minutes, they reached a large hill. On top was a single black stone, smooth and tall like a marker. Sergeant Milo scanned it. "It's not natural. Too perfect. This was placed here." Private Din took a step closer. "Looks like some kind of writing. Wait, it's glowing." The stone suddenly lit up with red symbols. None of the soldiers could read them. Luma shivered. I think it's watching us." Before anyone could speak, the wind stopped. Completely. No air, no sound. Just stillness. Then the sky, once dark, turned deep red, not like a sunset, not like light. It was as if something huge and alive was pressing against the sky itself, bleeding through. Private Kells raised his gun. "Sir, do you feel that?" Ryler looked around. The ground was shaking, just slightly. So small you'd miss it unless you were still. Then came the whisper. "Not." From one voice, from many. "Leave. Leave now. Or stay forever." Ryler barked. "Formation. Get ready." But it was too late. Private Din screamed. His body went stiff. He floated into the air like a puppet on strings. Everyone watched in horror as his helmet cracked. From the inside, then pop. His body dropped, empty, no blood, no bones, just air. Panic spread. Sergeant Milo grabbed Ryler. "Sir, what is this?" "That alien didn't do this." "No," Ryler said slowly. "This place did. They tried to fall back, but the path was gone. Literally. The rocks behind them had changed shape. The hill was no longer there." Luma said, trembling. "It's like the world is moving around us." Ryler called HQ. "Command, we've lost a man. Something's wrong with this planet. Request immediate evac." Static, then a faint reply. "Team 6, not authorized to leave. Mission not complete." Then silence again. Ryler cursed. "They cut us off." The wind returned, but now it whispered in their own voices. Each soldier heard someone they knew. A mother. A brother. A dead friend. Kells dropped to his knees, covering his ears. Make it stop! Make it stop! Ryler grabbed him. Focus, everyone, fall back to the ship. But when they turned, they saw something impossible. The ship was gone, not exploded, not crashed, just vanished. Where it stood now stood a figure. Tall. Calm. Unmoving. The alien. He was humanoid in shape, long silver skin, eyes like glowing blue stones. He wore no armor, held no weapon. He stood with his hands folded in front of him, like a monk. Private Kells aimed and fired without waiting. The bullet stopped midair, froze, then turned to dust. The alien didn't flinch. Ryler stepped forward. "Identify yourself," he shouted. The alien looked at him, smiled sadly. "You were warned." His voice was soft, but echoed everywhere. It felt like it came from the air itself. Sergeant Milo raised his gun. "Drop the act. We're here to erase you." The alien looked up at the red sky. "You came thinking I was the threat, but now you've brought the real danger closer." "What are you talking about?" Ryler asked. The alien didn't answer. He turned and began walking away, into the red fog. Ryler shouted, "Do not let him escape! Move!" The soldiers ran after him, but every step made things worse. Private Luma screamed, "My scanner's dead! Everything's static!" Sergeant Milo vanished mid-run. Gone. No sound. No flash. Just gone. The alien kept walking and the sky turned a deeper red. Suddenly, giant shapes began forming inside the clouds. Faces, eyes, watching. Ryler stopped running. He finally understood. They were never meant to kill the alien. They were never supposed to come here at all. This planet wasn't just hiding him, it was holding something else back. And now they had opened the door. The alien turned around one last time. He looked at Ryler and said, "You struck first. You were warned. Now it begins." The ground split. The wind screamed, and something from above began to fall. The world had changed. Captain Ryler stood frozen, staring at the place where the alien disappeared into the red fog. Behind him, half his team was gone. No bodies. No blood. Just silence. Private Luma's hands shook. "He didn't even fight us, sir." He didn't move. Ryler nodded slowly. "That's the problem." Private Kells looked up at the sky. The red color was getting darker. He raised his scanner again. "Captain, you need to see this." Ryler walked over. The screen showed something impossible. There were shapes in the sky, huge ones, moving, slowly, like they were swimming through the clouds. Not ships, not birds, eyes, too many to count. All of them open, all of them looking down. "We need backup, now," Ryler barked, slamming his comlink. No answer. Luma tapped, her helmet. "Satlink's down. We're blind," Kells whispered. "Sir, I think the planet knows we're here." Ryler clenched his fists. "We don't panic. We finish the mission. That alien knows something, and I want answers." They moved forward through the red fog. The land kept changing shape behind them. Rocks turned to black trees. Sand became metal. Luma stepped over a strange root. It pulsed like it was alive. Suddenly, Kells cried out, "Contact!" "Left side!" The team turned and opened fire. Red flashes filled the fog. Bullets tore through shadows. But when the smoke cleared, nothing was there. Not a single body. Only one thing remained, a helmet. Sergeant Milo's helmet. But Milo had vanished hours ago. "Fall back," Ryler shouted. "Something's playing with us." They turned to run, only to stop in horror. Behind them stood a giant wall. It hadn't been there before. It was made of smooth black stone, over 100 meters tall. No doors, No cracks. Just there, etched across the wall, was a single line of glowing red text. Luma read it out loud. You struck first. So now, it wakes. Kells backed away. What wakes? Ryler didn't answer. He was staring at the ground. The soil was moving, breathing, as if something massive was asleep beneath their feet. Then came the sound. Not a roar, not a scream, but a low hum, deep enough to shake their bones. Ryler dropped to one knee, covering his ears. Luma screamed and clutched her head. Blood trickled from Kells's nose. The sound grew louder. Then it stopped. Silence returned. But now the fog was gone, and the team saw what had been behind them all along. It wasn't just a wall. It was a face, a giant face carved into the mountain. Eyes closed, mouth shut, as if frozen in sleep. But now one eye was opening, and it was looking directly at them. Kells fell to the ground. "Captain, what is this? What are we fighting?" Ryler couldn't speak. He didn't know. They had come here to kill an alien. But this wasn't just one alien. It was something much older, something the alien had been hiding from. Luma screamed again. "Sir, behind us!" The team spun around. The alien had returned, still calm, still silent. He stood a few feet away, his eyes glowing with cold blue light. Ryler raised his gun. "Stop right there!" The alien didn't move. Ryler fired. The bullet stopped midair, melted into dust, just like before. "You don't understand," the alien said softly. "We came to talk," Ryler growled. "But you ran. You tricked us." "I didn't run," the alien replied. "I tried to leave. You followed." He pointed to the sky. "To wake that is your crime." Luma stepped forward, her voice shaking. "What is it?" The alien looked at her. "Something older than war, older than your stars, a being that feeds on fear. It was sealed long ago, by my people." He looked directly at Ryler. "And now, because of your fire, it's waking." Suddenly the ground split behind them. A giant black claw rose from the earth. It didn't reach for them, it reached for the sky, and the red clouds above began to move, pulling downward like water draining. From the center, something massive started to form, not a ship, not a beast, a shape without edges, a body made of shadow, flame, and broken time. Ryler whispered, "That's impossible." The alien turned. "You have two choices now. Help me stop it, or burn with it." Kells raised his gun. "How can we trust you?" The alien walked forward, slow and calm. "I didn't come to kill." He opened his hand. Inside floated a glowing orb. "Take it. It's the only thing that can close the breach." Ryler hesitated. "What happens if we fail?" The alien looked up again. "Then the red sky becomes your grave." Suddenly, from behind the wall face, more shapes began crawling. Out-twisted red creatures with too many limbs, no mouths. Just hollow, screaming faces. Luma opened fire. This time the bullets worked. The first one fell, but another replaced it. Then another. Dozens. Hundreds. Ryler grabbed the orb. It burned cold in his hand. The alien pointed to the mountain. "You must place it where the seal first broke." Ryler looked at the mountain's eye. It was almost fully open now. "Cover me," he shouted. Luma and Kells fired everything they had, holding the monsters back. Ryler ran. He climbed the shifting rocks. They moved under his feet like waves. The wind pushed against him like hands. He reached the center, the giant eye. It was glowing red now. Blinking slowly, he raised the orb. The alien spoke through his mind. "Say the words. Mathar U Kel Varen." Ryler didn't know what they meant, but he said them. The orb floated from his hands and exploded in white light. A shockwave hit everything. The monsters screamed and burned. The eye closed. The mountain cracked and sank into the earth. Silence returned, no red sky, no fog, just empty land. Ryler stood, shaking. The orb was gone. The key alien walked to him. It's sealed, for now. Kells and Luma limped forward, injured but alive. Ryler looked around. Where's the ship? The alien paused. You were never meant to return. What? Ryler asked. The alien stared into the distance. You stepped into a cage made of stars and woke the thing inside. You may have closed it for now, but it remembers you. He turned to walk away again. This time, no one followed. As he vanished into the fog, the wind whispered again. Not a warning, not a threat, just a promise. It has seen you now. The call came in at midnight, a coded emergency signal from DX-1E87. The message was broken, but the words were clear. Red sky, seal broken, team falling. Then silence. Earth Command didn't wait. They sent a second strike force. Team 9. Captain Elira was in charge. She was calm, experienced and not easily scared, but when she saw the planet from orbit, her face turned pale. Why is the sky red? The pilot shook his head. That's not atmosphere, that's something else. As they approached the landing zone, static filled the screens. Coordinates shifted, scanners blinked wrong data. No one knew what was waiting for them below. Team 9 landed on the surface an hour later. 12 soldiers, fully armed, highly trained. They stepped off the ramp into silence. No wind, no clouds, just the same deep red sky. Private Solin whispered, "Feels like we're walking into a tomb." Captain Elira ordered, "Check for Team 6. Search for signs of life." The team spread out, but what they found made their blood freeze. Just a few steps from the landing site was a field of armor, scattered helmets, broken rifles, burned gear, all marked with the Earth flag. Sergeant Ty leaned down and picked up a cracked helmet. "This is theirs." He flipped it over. Inside was dust, no blood, no skull, just empty. Private Lara called out from the east, "Captain, you need to see this." The team rushed over. They stood at the edge of a valley. Inside were dozens of black stones standing upright like grave markers. Each one glowed faint red. Each one had a name. Private Solin read one. Sergeant Milo, Team 6. Then another. Private Din, Team 6. And another. Captain Ryler. Ty stepped back. "Wait. What? That can't be. Ryler's body wasn't found." Elira looked around, eyes wide. This is a graveyard." Private Lyra whispered, "Who buried them?" No one had an answer, but the names kept appearing. Each stone glowed brighter as they read them. Suddenly a deep humming began in the air. The ground trembled. One of the stones cracked open, and from inside it, a thin stream of black smoke rose up and formed a shape. Not solid, not alive, but human-shaped. It looked like Ryler, but its eyes were hollow. Its voice echoed like metal. "You should not have come." The soldiers aimed their rifles. Elira stepped forward. "Who are you?" The figure floated above the ground. "You sent backup, but this place is not broken. It is hungry." Then it vanished. The sky darkened further, and in the distance, they heard it. Footsteps, heavy ones, not from a human, not from any animal, something much, much bigger. "Form up." Elira shouted. They backed toward the ship, but then the ship exploded. A burst of red flame tore through the ramp. The pilot's scream echoed once and was gone. Debris rained down. Private Solin fell, bleeding. No escape now. The valley shook. More. Gravestones cracked open. Figures began stepping out. Ghostly soldiers in broken armor. Not just Team 6. Others. Hundreds. Thousands. All forgotten soldiers from past missions, eyes empty, faces lost. They marched slowly forward, and above them, the red sky rippled. Sergeant Ty opened fire. The bullets passed right through the figures. They didn't bleed. They didn't scream. They just kept walking. Illyra pulled out her beacon. Earth Command, this is Captain Illyra. The planet is cursed. We're being hunted by the dead. Abort all landings. The beacon cracked in her hand. The voice returned. No signals leave. No souls leave. Private Lara sobbed. This is a trap. It was always a trap. Ty nodded. This place doesn't kill with weapons. It kills with fear. Illyra looked toward the far mountain range. A faint blue light shimmered near its peak. I saw this in the report, she said. That light. It's where the alien was. They began to run, no formation, just panic. But as they crossed the rocks, the world changed again. The trees bent toward them. The air thickened. Time itself slowed. Each step felt like running through water. Behind them, the army of the forgotten followed, silent and endless. Ahead, the mountain loomed, and on its slope stood a familiar figure. The alien, still calm, still watching. But now, his face looked tired. Illyra stopped a few feet away. She raised her gun. You again. He didn't move. You came for them, and now you're here too, he said. We didn't start this, she snapped. The alien nodded. No, but Earth never listens. Ty shouted, what is this place? Why are our people becoming ghosts? The alien turned his head. This world was once a prison, he said. Long ago, for a being that eats thought. It cannot kill you, but it turns you into memory. Solin collapsed, barely breathing. We need to go. You can't, the alien said, unless you seal it again. He opened his hand. A second orb floated above it, glowing blue like the one Ryla used. This is the last one, the alien warned. If it fails, there's no third. Illyra took it, her fingers burning with cold. What do I do? She asked. The alien pointed to the center of the valley. You place it there, where the red breath began. She looked at the army behind her. Almost there. How much time do I have? The alien's glowing eyes dimmed slightly. Seconds. Illyra nodded once. Cover me. The others turned and faced the incoming army. Rifles ready, hearts pounding. Illyra ran. The orb pulsed in her hand, growing hotter with every step. She reached the valley's center, where a giant spiral was carved into the ground. As she stepped into it, the sky screamed, literally. A long, high-pitched wail like metal tearing apart. Ghosts circled her. Whispers filled her mind. Stay here. Become one of us. She screamed and raised the orb, but it was fading, not glowing like before. She cried out, What now? The alien's voice echoed in her thoughts. Give it a name. Give it your fear. And let go. Illyra closed her eyes. She remembered the faces of her team, the deaths, the silence, the sky, and she whispered, I name you the Red Hunger. The orb flared to life, then shattered. A wave of white light blasted through the valley. The ghosts vanished. The sky cleared. The screams stopped. Silence, real silence. No red, no shaking, just wind. Illyra stood alone in the valley. Behind her, only Ty. And Lara remained, barely alive. Solin was gone. The alien appeared once more. You did it. Illyra stared at him. Is it over? He looked up at the sky. No, but it sleeps again. He turned to leave. Wait, she called out. Who are you? The alien stopped. The last one who remembers why it must stay locked. Then he walked into the mountain fog and was gone. Earth Command thought it was over. The red sky had faded. The last message from Captain Elira said the breach was sealed, but Earth didn't trust silence, so they started digging, not on the same planet, but in orbit, far away on Moon Base Delta 9. They called it Project Gatewatch. A deep space research team led by Dr. Arin Vale was ordered to scan for cosmic energy echoes. What they found wasn't an echo. It was a signal, buried deep in space, moving slowly toward Earth. Something old and calling out. Dr. Vale stared at the hologram in front of her. "This isn't from the red planet," she whispered. "This is coming from behind Jupiter." Commander Brigg leaned in. "How's that possible?" "The creature was sealed." Arin nodded. "Yes, but we didn't kill it. We just locked a door." She pointed to the signal. "There's a second door, and Earth just opened it." Brigg frowned. "We opened nothing, but the room's lights flickered. An alarm sounded, and the Gatewatch system, a scanner designed to detect wormholes, began to beep. Gate detected. Right above Earth's orbit. A tear appeared in the sky. Not visible to the eye, but to every satellite and radar, it was loud and growing. It looked like a crack in glass floating in space. At first, nothing came out. Then, a single object slipped through. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't alive. It was a coffin. Black, frozen, covered in red symbols no human could read. Earth Command brought it down. Mistake. Inside the black coffin was a body. Humanoid in shape, but no skin. No blood. Just bone and armor melted together. It didn't move, didn't breathe. But the moment it entered Earth's lab, every dog on the planet started howling. Dr. Vale examined the readings. "This isn't dead." General Hux, standing behind her, growled. "Then destroy it." Vale shook her head. "No, it's not attacking. It's waiting." "For what?" Hux asked. She looked up. "For the rest of it." Within hours, things went wrong. Power outages across research centers. Astronauts on Moonbase started seeing faces in reflections, faces not their own. One pilot reported hearing whispers in his helmet. "It remembers you." Meanwhile, on the red planet, the alien woke up suddenly. He sat up straight, eyes glowing. "No," he said quietly. He looked toward the stars. They opened the second gate. Captain Elira, still recovering on the red planet, found him near the mountain's edge. "What's happening?" she asked. The alien looked at her, worry clear on his face. "The coffin came through, didn't it?" Elira nodded. "Yes. How do you know?" He stared at the sky. "It was the first to fall when we locked the creature away. We sealed its body outside the prison." "Whose body?" she asked. He turned slowly. "Its mouth." Elira felt a chill run through her bones. "Wait. That thing had a mouth?" The alien shook his head. "That is its mouth." Back on Earth, the coffin melted on its own. From inside, the figure stood, now breathing, now glowing. But its face was wrong. It looked human, almost. But the eyes had no end, just blackness. It didn't attack. It just walked. Every step it took, machines failed, satellites fell, and people heard it in their dreams. "The seal is broken. The mouth is open." Dr. Vale sent a message to the red planet, a risky deep space transmission. "Captain Elira, we need answers. Something is walking through Earth's orbit. It wears our skin. It speaks in your nightmares." The reply was quick. "Don't let it speak. If it speaks, the gate becomes a hole." Dr. Vale looked confused. A hole to what? The figure finally stopped in Antarctica. No guards could stop it. Guns didn't work. Nothing slowed it down. It stood before an ancient crater, unknown to most, forgotten by Earth's governments, but not forgotten by the stars. There, It spoke. Just 3 words. Open the hunger. The sky above Earth cracked, again, and this time, not just one object came through. Thousands. Red comets. Burning. But these weren't ships. They were teeth. Earth Command panicked. They launched every satellite weapon they had. Lasers, bombs, EMPs. Nothing worked. Each comet landed silently, then opened like flowers. Inside, nothing. But the land beneath them began to decay. Forests wilted, rivers turned black. Cities fell quiet. It wasn't war. It was erasure. Elira and the alien watched from the red planet. He turned to her. You humans think in battles, but this isn't a war. Then what is it? She asked. He stared at Earth's dying light. It's a feeding. Back on Earth, Dr. Vale made a decision. She gathered what was left of her team. We seal it again. Not with power, with memory. She opened the lab's last secure chamber. Inside, a shard of the first orb, the one Ryler used. It still pulsed. Faintly. But it needed a name. Vale whispered, I name you. Earth's scream. The shard burned white hot. A pulse shot into the sky. One by one, the comets cracked, and the teeth shattered. The mouth figure screamed, then melted into dust. The sky healed, the gate closed, but Dr. Vale collapsed. She had used her life to power the shard. Her last breath was a smile. Don't open another gate. Back on the red planet, the alien bowed his head. It's closed. For now. Elira nodded. But Earth will try again. The alien's voice was quiet. Then next time, it won't be the mouth, it'll be the mind. They buried Dr. Vale with honor. A hero, the one who stopped the second gate, but her warning, don't open another gate, was ignored. Because deep beneath Earth's surface, something had awakened. It didn't roar. It didn't shake the ground. It simply began. Remembering. 6 months passed. Earth believed the crisis was over. No more red skies, no more ghosts. Peace returned. But far below Greenland's ice shelf, a drilling team discovered a strange structure. Smooth metal, covered in symbols no one had seen before. It wasn't built by humans, and it pulsed like a heartbeat. Project name Vault Echo, the new team in charge, Division Deep Core, and leading them was Commander Vance Meyer. He was confident, arrogant. He didn't believe in curses. Looks like a bunker, Vance said, running his hand across the smooth door. Scientist Eula frowned. Sir, this wasn't built by any known species. It's older than the ice above it. He smiled. Then we'll be the first to open it. Eula looked nervous. Dr. Vale left warnings about memory-based anomalies. What if this is connected? Vance waved her off. She fought ghosts. We're drilling metal. They placed charges around the vault's edge. 10 seconds later, it cracked open, and a wave of silence poured out. Not soundless. Anti-sound, the kind that made your ears feel full and your eyes water. Then came the whisper, not from outside. From inside every person's head. Welcome back. They stepped in. Inside was a long hallway, glowing with soft blue light. On each side were walls made of glass, and behind the glass, floating orbs. Thousands of them. Each one flickered with color. Red, green, blue, black. One orb pulsed faster as Vance walked by. It turned white, and then played a voice. Dad, are you coming home? It was Vance's daughter's voice. She had died 5 years ago in an accident. He froze. How did it know that? He whispered. Scientist Eula stared at the orb. These are memories. He looked around, eyes wide. This place, it stores memories? Eula corrected him. No, it steals them. Back on the red planet, Captain Elira felt a sudden pain in her head. She saw flashes, images that weren't hers. A man in a lab, a girl calling out, a vault with glowing glass. She turned to the alien. "You feel that?" He nodded slowly. They opened Echo. "What is it?" she asked. He didn't answer right away. Then he whispered, "Echo isn't a prison. It's a library for a god that forgot how to be alive." Back on Earth, Deep Core staff began acting strange. They forgot small things, their names, their homes, their past. Vance called for help, but when military arrived, the soldiers forgot why they had come. In just hours, entire memories vanished from their minds. Even worse, the vault began growing. Its walls expanded, rewriting the tunnels. And the orbs, they cracked. And from each one, a figure stepped out, not real, not alive, just living memories. Eula tried to run. She saw her own mother, who had died years ago, standing in the corridor, but the woman's eyes were black holes, and her voice echoed like two voices layered. "Don't forget me. Stay here forever." Eula screamed. She sprinted to the control room and locked herself in, then sent a message to Captain Elira. On the red planet, Elira read the message. "Vault Echo is active. It doesn't kill, it replaces. I'm losing my name." She looked at the alien. "How do we stop it?" He turned away. "You don't." She grabbed his arm. "Then what do we do?" He looked into her eyes. "You go inside, and remember something it cannot steal." Elira returned to Earth, this time alone. She entered Vault Echo in silence. The inside was bigger now. Hundreds of corridors, all filled with orbs and shadows wearing memories like clothes. She walked past a woman screaming for her lost child. A man who kept reliving a battlefield. A boy crying alone in a white room. The vault didn't hurt people with pain. It drowned them in memories until they forgot which ones were theirs. At the heart of the vault, Elira found Vance sitting on the ground, staring at nothing. "Vance?" she asked. He looked up slowly. "Who's that?" "It's me, Elira." He shook his head. "No, Elira died, I remember." She grabbed him. "I'm alive." He stared, confused, then whispered, "Then who have I been talking to?" Behind her, another Elira appeared, smiling, empty-eyed. Elira raised her gun. The fake her tilted its head. "Why fight? You've already forgotten the sound of your mother's laugh." Elira closed her eyes. She whispered her own name, her rank, her team's names, the war, the loss, the red sky. "You can't have that." The vault shook. The orb lights flickered. The fake Elira screamed and vanished into dust. The alien appeared beside her, not physically but in her mind. "You did it," he said. "You remembered something real. But this place, it's still alive," she said. He nodded. "Then give it something it cannot hold." She looked at the last orb glowing near the core. She touched it and whispered, "Hope." The orb turned gold, then cracked, and a wave of white light pulsed through the entire vault. The orb shattered, the figures vanished, and people across the facility woke up. Names returned, memories reformed. Eula opened her eyes. "Mom?" she whispered, then shook her head. "No, that's not real. I remember now." Vault Echo didn't collapse, but it slept, waiting again. Hungry. But for now, quiet. Outside, Elira sat under the real sky. Earth's sky. Blue. Not red. She looked up and whispered to herself, "If we dig again, we won't find monsters. We'll find ourselves, and we may not like what we remember." The vault had gone silent. No more memory echoes, no more shifting walls. Earth breathed again, but it was too early to relax, because while the sky stayed quiet, Earth's shadows began to speak. At first, no one noticed. people saw strange movements beside their feet. Shadows stretched in the wrong direction. Some didn't match their owner's shape. Then, late one night, a janitor at Vault Echo dropped his mop. He stared at the floor. His shadow had opened its eyes. Within 2 weeks, shadow anomalies spread worldwide. Some whispered, some moved before the person did. One woman saw her shadow point at a door she'd never seen before. She followed. She never came back. Elira knew it wasn't over. She returned to the vault with Eula, but this time, the vault was cold, dead, no readings, and yet she felt watched. Something followed us back. Eula, said Elira, nodded. Not something. Reflections. Deep in an abandoned part of Vault Echo, they found a cracked orb, different from the rest. Black glass, unstable light inside. Eula scanned it. This isn't memory. It's imitation. The vault hadn't just stolen thoughts, it had learned how to copy people, and now those copies had escaped as shadows. Meanwhile, strange reports came in from across the globe. A child in Kenya cried because his shadow kept walking away. A miner in Peru screamed when he saw himself in the tunnel, already dead. And in New York, a diplomat collapsed after his shadow whispered his deepest secret in front of a live audience. The shadows weren't violent. They were surgical. They peeled truth out of people like skin. Earth's leaders panicked. Was this a virus, a trick, a leftover curse? But Captain Elira understood. She spoke to the United Earth Council. This isn't war. This is reversal. The vault learned from us. Now it reflects everything we tried to forget. The council didn't believe her. So that night, their own shadows came alive, and the next morning half of them resigned. Back on the red planet, the alien had felt it too. He walked through sand, watching his own shadow shimmer. It didn't follow his steps. It walked beside him. He stopped. So did the shadow, but then the shadow spoke in his voice. You knew this would happen. The alien didn't respond. He just stared. You helped the humans find Echo, the shadow said. Now we're all open books. The alien clenched his fists. Then I'll burn the library. On Earth, the shadow crisis grew worse. They began speaking to people in public. At first, just small things. You lied yesterday. You wanted him dead. You loved someone else. But then, they spoke in groups, whole streets filled with whispering shadows. People went mad. Some attacked their own reflections, others begged the shadows to stop revealing their secrets. But the shadows didn't stop, because they were never trying to hurt. They were trying to finish what the vault started. To become real, Dr. Eula came up with a theory. Shadows are echoes, she said, and vault echoes are fragments. Elira nodded. They want to become full. Eula added, if they collect enough truth, they might gain bodies. Elira frowned. And if they do? Eula whispered, then they replace us. An experiment was done. A test subject was placed in a glass room with his own shadow. For hours, nothing happened. Then the shadow started to grow. It climbed the walls, wrapped around the man's feet, and whispered, you already feel me. The man screamed, then went silent. When the team opened the door, they found 2 of him. Same voice, same face, same memories. But only one cast a shadow. Elira called for a full lockdown. Too late. By then, there were dozens of doubles walking Earth. Hard to detect, harder to stop. They didn't attack, they just replaced. Quietly. One family at a time. One city at a time. And every time someone disappeared, their shadow stayed behind, smiling. On the red planet, the alien built a device. Old tech. Forbidden tech. It was a shadow anchor, a tool used during ancient wars to trap ethereal entities inside their reflections. He contacted Elira. It's risky, he said, but it might seal the copies. She agreed. Earth had no other choice. The plan: bring the anchor to the heart of Vault Echo, where the corruption started, activate it, and hope the shadows still remembered where they came from. Eula, Elira, and a strike team entered the vault one last time. This time the walls were full of moving reflections, people who weren't there, memories that screamed, and shadows that ran ahead of them, not behind. Elira held the anchor tight. "Let's end this," she said. They reached the central chamber. It was different now, filled with mirrors, not metal. Each mirror showed someone real, laughing, crying, screaming, lying, and the shadows stood in front of them, watching. One turned to Elira. It had her face, her voice, her eyes. "We don't want war, just permission to be." Elira raised the anchor. "I never gave you that." She slammed it into the ground. A wave of blue light spread across the mirrors. The shadows screamed, not in pain, but like children being scolded. They tried to flee, but their paths looped back. Their fake forms cracked, and one by one the vault reabsorbed them. The anchor pulsed, faster, louder. And then, silence. Real silence. Elira collapsed. The team pulled her out. The vault's entrance sealed behind them, this time on its own, and above them, the sky stayed blue, and shadows returned to normal. For now. But across Earth, people stared at their feet, at the shapes beside them. The silence made them uneasy, because they had heard the whispers, because some of the shadows had told the truth. Things they never admitted. Things they couldn't forget. Maybe the worst part of a reflection is knowing it might be right. Elira saved Earth. The vault was sealed. The shadows were gone, but peace never came, because every time she closed her eyes, she dreamed someone else's dreams. She sat in her home, far from the vault. No soldiers, no missions, just silence. But when she slept, she saw the glass halls again. The vault. She walked corridors that didn't exist and heard voices that weren't hers. Each dream started the same way, a whisper. Not outside, inside her skull. "You're not alone." At first she thought it was trauma. Memories, stress, the aftermath of battle. But then she dreamed of things she never saw. A child floating in a black tank, a man carving symbols into stone, a woman screaming inside a mirror that rippled like water. Every detail vivid, real, too real. She told Eula. The doctor scanned her brain. The results, a second neural pattern, not human. Eula stared at the screen. "This isn't a memory." Elira sat frozen. "Then what is it?" Eula looked her in the eyes. "It's another mind, living inside yours." Elira stood. "From the vault?" Eula nodded. "It didn't follow you out. It attached." That night, Elira didn't sleep. But the dreams came anyway. While awake, while her eyes were open, she saw things that weren't there, heard voices layered over her own. And then, it spoke clearly. "We are not enemies. We are leftovers." She demanded answers. The voice explained, Vault Echo was never just storage. It was a mind farm. It didn't steal memories to study them. It took consciousness, split them, filed them, tried to rebuild them piece by piece, but some never fit back together. "We were too broken to become real again," the voice said. "So we clung to the closest open door. You." Elira didn't panic. She sat still, breathed. "I'm not a door," she said. The voice responded softly. "But you were open. You remembered what others forgot. That gave us a path." She felt it then. Sadness, loneliness. The voice didn't want to control her. It just didn't want to be alone. Eula built a device, a neural anchor. It could separate the two minds, push the vault consciousness out. "Is that safe?" Elira asked. Eula hesitated. "It's Never been done. But Elira nodded. Do it. She lay on the table, wires connected to her skull. The machine powered up. The voice inside her whispered, I understand. You want silence. She whispered back, I want myself. And then, pain. Not physical. Mental burning. Her mind split like glass under pressure. She saw hundreds of faces flash before her, voices screaming, laughing, crying, then one final whisper. Thank you for letting me remember who I was. Then silence. Real silence. When Elira opened her eyes, it was gone. No voices, no dreams, just her. Eula ran scans. All clean, she smiled. You're alone again. But Elira didn't smile back. She looked down at her hand. Her shadow shifted strangely. That night, Elira sat by her window. The stars above were clear. The world was quiet. But deep inside, a memory returned. Not hers, a field of black flowers. A sky without light, and the sound of someone humming, a child, softly, in a tune she had never heard before. She whispered the melody, and the stars above flickered, as if they recognized the song. Was the mind really gone, or had it just gone deeper? Was she free, or now, forever connected? And if her thoughts weren't always her own, could Earth trust her anymore? The red sky never came back. The vault stayed locked, the shadows silent. But one question haunted them all. What happens to the things we forget when they remember us? Arndi Vault. Echo had been sealed. No shadows moved, no echoes screamed, and for the first time in months, Earth thought it was safe. But in deep space, a signal blinked, soft, slow, ancient. A reply, not from Earth, but to Earth. It started as background. Noise. Astronomers picked it up first. A pulse, then a pattern, then words, spoken in no known language, except one that only Vault Echo understood. Dr. Eula played the sound inside the lab. The vault responded. The doors, long sealed, vibrated softly, and across its surface lights flickered, old lights. It's answering, Eula said. Elira frowned. To who? The message repeated every hour, then increased every 10 minutes, every 5, then non-stop, like someone knocking from orbit. But the signal didn't come from nearby. It came from beyond the edge of mapped space. A dead zone, lightless, unexplored. Where? No star had ever been seen. Special satellite decoded the signal. It formed images, fragments, faint shapes of vaults. Not just one. Thousands, built across the galaxy. Some were destroyed, some buried, and some still active. Vault Echo wasn't Earth's creation. It was just the last one left open. Captain Elira and Dr. Eula met with the Earth Council. This is not just a relic, Elira said. It's part of a system. A communication grid, Eula added. And something out there just realized Earth answered. Silence. Then a question from one council member. What do they want? The signal changed again. A new tone. Low. Deep. When slowed down, it formed a phrase. Elira translated it aloud. We remember you. Now remember us. Suddenly, Vault Echo's doors unlocked on their own. The vault wanted to open. The system bypassed human control, and inside, the walls were shifting again. But this time the shapes were not human. Alien figures. Strange architecture. Spiral logic. The vault was rebuilding itself to receive something, or someone. Earth panicked, shut down power grids, blocked satellite feeds. But it was useless. The signal came from space itself. The stars bent, satellites turned, even animals began to behave strangely, migrating toward. Vault echoed birds, wolves, even insects. Something was calling everything alive. Eula studied the vault core, then whispered, "It's becoming a receiver." Elira understood, not just for data, for minds. The alien network wanted to reconnect. Earth had triggered the last node. Now the others wanted to speak again, through humans. Then came the dream storm. All over Earth, people reported the same dream. Floating cities, black oceans, skies with two suns. Languages they didn't know yet understood. And a presence, not a god, not a machine, something else, something old. It spoke a single word. Open. Elira returned to the vault one last time. She stood in the central chamber, Eula and a full team behind her. The vault walls glowed, every surface showing unknown stars. And at the center, a platform pulsed, a seat, not built for humans. Elira looked back once. "I'll go." Eula tried to stop her. "What if it takes you?" Elira smiled. "Maybe it already did." She sat down, and the vault lit up. Lights, symbols, stars. Then everything went black. No pain, no fear, just understanding. She felt her mind lift, not pulled but welcomed. Her thoughts weren't hers alone anymore. Memories not her own flooded in. Thousands of lives, thousands of species, all connected through the vault network. She had become part of it, back. On Earth, Vault Echo shut down. Silent again, but not dead. This time, it slept, waiting, its doors closed, its lights dim, and Elira was never seen again. But every night people dreamed of her, standing under foreign stars, smiling, guiding, protecting, and one message echoed in every mind. The stars remember, and now so do we.